And Shalom, his brother Yashima Zakar from the Israelite Report, IsraeliteReport.com. Upon my watch, all praises are definitely due to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessings to all the brothers spread across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth and sincerity. Those that truly believe and want to get the hell up out of here. Right quick, I want to get into this article here from End Times Headlines. So I know Trump is doing this thing with the tariffs and you got the trade war and everything, but before I go into my rant, because I did another recording, which I'm gonna play as soon as I finish this. But I want to talk about this right quick from End Times Headlines. It says, here are 8 signs that the bombing of Iran could happen any day now. And I just want to, I'm not going to read the entire article because it's lengthy, but I will get to some of the highlights, the notes here. It says one of the reasons is because a second U.S. aircraft carrier is being moved within striking distance of Iran. Okay, that's one of the reasons why they say it could happen any time now, any day now. Number 2, it says it is being reported that 6 B-2 bombers have been deployed to the base on Diego Garcia. This represents 30% of our entire fleet of B-2 bombers. Another reason they listed here, they said the B-2 bombers that have been deployed to Diego Garcia are being left out in the open so that Iranians can see them. So it's a military flex. Number 4, this is another reason. It says negotiations with Iran are scheduled to begin this weekend. The New York Times is reporting that the Iranians are expected to reject, they're expected to reject President Trump's demands. So he's demanding that and this right here, Trump's public demands that Iran stop nuclear enrichment, hand over its large supply of enrichment uranium, and destroy its existing nuclear facilities will almost surely be rejected by Ayatollah, I don't know how to say his name, Ali Khamenei. It says Iran's supreme leader as an unacceptable humiliation surrender. And he's not going to do that. He's not going to, I can't see him doing it. Says here, another reason highlighted, President Trump is warning that if negotiations with the Iranians do not succeed, it will be a very bad day for Iran. And I'm going to read this little piece right here. It says, speaking from the White House Oval Office last night, Trump warned Iran would be in great danger if the projected talks were stymied. He said, we're having direct talks with Iran, and they've started. It'll go on Saturday. It says, we have a very big meeting. This is a quote. We have a very big meeting, and we'll see what can happen. And I think everybody agrees that doing a deal would be preferable. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. And if the talks aren't successful, I actually think it will be a very bad day for Iran. So this is World War III is shaping up. We're getting ready for that. And we know Iran has the backing of Russia, China. This is gonna get real ugly real fast. Um, so something's around the corner. Something's around the corner. This is the number 6 reason. I'm only going to get a couple of these. I said, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is openly telling us that a military strike on Iran has almost become inevitable. Because remember, Israel is the puppet master, uh, for Trump. Trump is just a puppet. You got to keep that in mind. Yeah, he's acting crazy and doing crazy shit, but there's a there's a hand up his back, up his backside. If you get my drift, if you get what I'm saying. Um, and these are the people that are controlling him. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Tuesday that if U.S. indirect talks with Iran over its nuclear program fail, then a military attack becomes inevitable. He issued the warning fresh off his Monday Oval Office visit with President Trump, um, wherein the U.S. leader announced for the first time that Saturday talks with Iranians will be hosted in Oman. Uh, Netanyahu said in the new video statement, "We agree that Iran will not have nuclear weapons." So this is what's going on. Um, this is like this is the what am I looking for? The word I'm looking for here. This is the breaking point. Okay, this is that line. Playtime is over. No more Biden and Obama. No more Trump 1. This is Trump 2.0. And he has but a short time because he won't be president again. And matter of fact, wasn't it I saw something here about this being the best opportunity. One of these Israelis said this. Let me see if this is it. It says, now that Trump is in the White House, yeah, this is what I was looking for. This is number 7. Now that Trump is in the White House, the Israelis believe that now is the optimum moment to deal with Iran. Like, in other words, we have our guy. And they're literally saying what I've been saying and what I've been looking at for quite some time now. Once I've really, really understood just how deep in debt Trump was with the Rothschilds, because everyone's talking about Russia this, Russia that. Let's Trump say Russia, Russia, Russia. Well, that's cool, but it was the Rothschilds that bailed him out. And I know his son-in-law is, Jared Kushner is, I know he's a small hat himself. And Trump has been making deals with these small hats for a very long time, since going back to the 80s. So when I pieced that together, I kind of looked past Russia and started looking at his relationship with the Israelis, with the small hatters. That's when I was like, oh shit. Okay, I got it. Because all these entertainers and these presidents and, these politicians, they're all controlled by the small hats, the Israelis. But Trump is controlled in a different manner. And one day I may get into that. He's fully controlled. Okay? So I want to read this part again. It says, now that Trump is in the White House, the Israelis believe that now is the optimum moment to deal with Iran. Like, this is the guy. This is the guy that we've been waiting for. Now, you may say, well, why didn't they do it the first time he was in office? I'll deal with that sometime. I'll deal with that sometime. That's going to take too long to explain. They needed to set some things up first. But anyway, and one of those things was the pandemic. But I'll get into that some other time. It says here, an Israeli diplomatic source warned it is a crucial deal. I don't know why they wrote it this way. It said it's a crucial deal be thrashed out. I think they meant to be thrashed out with Iran to temper its nuclear program. Says they said from Israel's perspective, with Trump in the White House, this represents the optimum moment to deal with Iran. There won't be a better chance. So you have to get into the mindset of these small hats, the top elites of the Israelis, right? The J-ish people. They feel like this is the best chance that they have to go to war with Iran, to wipe Iran out. All right? This is something they wanted for a very long time. There was a long list of countries going back to the early 2000s that the small hats had for the U.S. to go to war and wipe out or to destroy and rebuild. Uh, you had Afghanistan on that list. We know what happened with them. You had Iraq on that list. You know what happened with them. Syria, um, Libya. We know what happened with them. What happened with Gaddafi. I think I might be missing one. But then there was Iran. They couldn't get any of these presidents to go to war with Iran. It was like this was the last. They want Iran, okay, bad. They want to just wipe that shit out, destroy it, rebuild it, okay. So now the idea is Trump has got to sell to the American people that Iran is a major threat to the U.S. And if they get their hands on a nuclear weapon, right? Think about 9/11. Think about Iraq, the Bush administration. Think about weapons of mass destruction. They're going to run that same play. Except this time, you're going to have basically the full support of the MAGA right. Okay, because Trump can't do no wrong. If Trump takes a shit on stage, they'll say that was Biden's fault. That was Kamala's fault. Okay? So they're going to run the same play. So once again, I'm going to say this for the 1 millionth time. Everything is coming together all at once. You have the what appears to be the collapsing of the economy and World War III shaping up all at once. Civil war is going to break out. It could be a racial thing, class wars. Because America's divided, you have these different factions on these different, as far as these two political parties mainly. Okay, and they hate each other. There's no coming to the table between the left and the right. Now, as far as the politicians are concerned, they come to the table and sit because they're just puppets playing the game. But as far as the average Joe Schmo, 6-pack Joe, 9 to 5 working class, as far as the left and the right are concerned, they hate each other. I know I'm at work and I'm surrounded by a bunch of Democrats and they hate Republicans. It's not they're okay. And trust me, I know it's the same thing on the right. This country is more divided than it's ever been. I've never seen this shit. Ever. And I'm dead ass. I'm dead ass serious. Not even, not bullshitting you in the slightest. I've never seen it like this. And I was in racist ass Idaho. I've never seen it like this. These people damn near want to kill each other. Okay? All it takes is the right situation. I want to get this though. And in Isaiah 47, because I've been running my mouth. I ain't brought out one scripture. Isaiah 47, it says, Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne. And that's what Trump is, this is what he's promoting to the people. He's going to bring back the throne. The fact that he has to say, make America great again, shows you that America is in decline. Because why would you have to make America great again if America was still great? See, he's admitting something. You understand? He's admitting something. So his thing is to bring back the throne. White supremacy. The white man is going to be back on the throne. This is what he's promising. Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon, America. Right? Sit on the ground, there is no throne. O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. And for a very long time, America has never really seen what it's like to have missiles launched on it. They don't know what that's like. They'll sit there and watch TV and see bombs being dropped on Iraq and Afghanistan. And yeah, you have American troops there in the midst of that, but they signed up for that. That's the American attitude. It's not their problem. They don't give a shit. But shit changes when it's happening to you. Like that old saying goes, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. The least of the flock shall draw them out. And that's what we're witnessing right now. And it's so beautiful. It's almost like I've been waiting a long time for this. Finally, it's happening. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. And I'll be damned if these Israelis aren't pressing the current president, Donald Trump, to go to war with Iran, start up World War III. While you still have this situation with Russia, by the way. Because the scriptures say, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. You know, it's going to be a time when you're going to be touched. Because when you're tender and delicate and, you're virgin, you ain't been touched. America's about to get touched by missiles. Take the millstones and grind meal. Uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh. And yeah, it's being discovered. Okay. The Lord has made Esau bare. Right? We can see that Esau is weak. It's just like the Wizard of Oz. You thought you had this I'm off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Oz. Right? So they out there to see this miracle worker, and it's just some little dude behind a curtain talking shit. Right? America's a bitch. It's a hoe. It's not big bad America. It's not that, especially now. It says, take the millstones and grind mills, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. The Lord has made Esau bare. He's made America bare. It says, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance And I love this. And I will not meet thee as a man. I love that. You know why I love that scripture? I love that verse because Esau thinks he's going to treat the Most High like he treats Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, the way he's treated the Iraqis. He's that proud. This is the devil that we're dealing with. He don't understand that he's been led into a trap. Even Zelensky warned him that just because you're over a body of water, he was talking to Trump in the White House, you know, this same problem we're having with Russia is going to come to you. Zelensky was technically, he was sort of prophesying a little bit, technically. Not saying he's a prophet, because I know a nigga gets stupid, so I don't say certain things, but, he was telling the truth. Trump said, don't tell us what, how did he say it? Don't tell us what's going to happen to us or how we're going to feel. I believe that's how he said it. But I do want to get this in Isaiah 34. Damn, I'm in Isaiah this week. Isaiah 34:5, it says, for my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea. Idumea is Edom, Esau. All right. And upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of the Lord is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, with the fat of the kidneys of rams. For the Lord excuse me, let me not mess that up. It says, for the Lord hath a sacrifice in Bozrah, Esau, Edom, Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. Again, this is all talking about Esau, Edom. And modern day, you could say Basra, America, Idumea, because that's where they are now. This is the great kingdom of Esau in modern times. It's the United States of America. I'm in D.C., and I know I talk about this shit all the fucking time. I know people like to, look, bro, let me say it like this. New York, D.C., two places where you're going to see the most patriotic Edomites. I know Edomites that literally go down to Virginia, Arlington Cemetery, right? Where they have the dead soldiers' caskets laid out. Arlington Cemetery. And they go there and they salute when they walk in that bitch. They're dead ass serious. They're patriots, American patriots. The average nigga doesn't know or understand how patriotic a lot of these Edomites are and how they believe that America, the Bible, go hand in hand. Like they believe that the American Constitution is biblical. They don't understand it. They don't get it because niggas live in nigger land. Esau live in Esau land. So it's, Negroes don't get it. I know because I talk to these Edomites. I know how to talk to them. My father taught me how to talk to the white man, how to deal with him, how to get information from him. He had to do business with them. So I was taught as a little boy how to talk to these people and how to get information, how to play them. The Lord is about to make, or I should say, the Lord, well, he's about to make a fool out of Esau because Esau thinks he can fight against the Lord. That's why Trump is so proud. But anyway, let me go ahead and restart, and we'll get into the second part. Shalom is Brother Yashima Zakar from the Israelite Report, IsraeliteReport.com. Upon my watch, all praises are definitely due to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah. Peace and blessings to all the brothers spread across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth and sincerity. Those that truly believe and want to get the hell up out of here. Those that are sick of this goddamn place, just as I am. I wanted to, I was looking at something earlier. And all this day, by the way, I've been looking at this number 144. It's been popping up. It's very spiritual this whole day, all the way up to the evening. Because I'm recording it before I post it. But from the start of the morning, I walk out, the buses say 144. And I'm like, oh, Barakatah Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. And then throughout the day, I just been seeing that number. I mean, like throughout the whole entire day. All the way to the evening, it's like cars, 144. I'm like, damn. Like the whole day. And that's a spiritual boost. We need that from time to time. And I've never seen that before. I've seen, a few times when you see 144, you like, oh, Barakatah Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah, But it's been literally the whole day. I can't even count how many times I saw it today. And I was just like, wow, man. Lord willing, we be, we'll be getting close to getting the hell up out of here for real. But someone posted, and I saw this on TikTok. Someone posted that the collapse of the economy is not by accident. It's a controlled demolition. And you have two sides of it. You have some people that believe this will work out for the better because they believe there's this theory amongst a certain group of Trump supporters that he's like the chosen one. And I kind of hint at that from time to time, that you have a certain sect of Edomites that believe that Trump is some like, chosen one. He's like some prophet, or he's like, he's like a gift from God. Like he's come to save America. All right. So that's that Edomite thought that, they're going to be saved from this incoming doom. All right. Calamity. And some people believe that this economic crash will work out for the better. And they believe it's like a sort of like a destroy and rebuild type thing. Like, oh, if we just hang in there, it's going to come back. And that's kind of like you have two sides of it. You have those that look at it and say, oh, this economic collapse is going to be the death blow of America. And, people are worried about losing their 401ks, their retirement plans. Government workers are being fired. And they're looking at it that way. and they're saying this guy's a complete idiot and he's messing up the entire country. He's destroying the entire country. And then you have the other side that are saying, no, this is good for the country. It's good that the markets crash, and they believe that it will, help in the long run, because they believe that the markets need to crash, and this is going to help out the middle class somehow. But this person says that the collapse of the economy is not an accident; it's a controlled demolition. The new system does not need a middle class. It doesn't need a middle class because the middle class is going to be done away with. It's pretty much almost there if you've been paying attention. Because even the middle class is kind of like in a state where they're living paycheck to paycheck. They can't afford to live outside of their means anymore. Right? In other words, they can't afford to be uppity. They have to scale it back a little bit. And I can go deeper into that, but I just want that to be understood where I'm going with this. There is this attitude amongst these Edomites that somehow, some way, they're going to come out of this. But I want to get Job 12:14. It says, behold, he breaketh down, and it cannot be built again. And I've been bringing this out a lot lately, for a reason. Behold, he breaketh down, and it cannot be built again. He shutteth up a man, and there can be no opening. Because when the Lord closes it up, that's it. Okay, behold, he withholdeth the waters, and they dry up, because the Lord has that power. Just like he had the power to bring the flood during Noah's time. Also, he sendeth them out, and they overturn the earth. With him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. And we know that classic scripture, right? The deceived and the deceiver are his. So these Edomites that think that this is a good thing have been deceived. Trump is crashing the economy. He's crashing the markets. They think it's a build back better type scenario, which is ironic because that's what Joe Biden was running on. If you don't remember, I'll refresh your memory. Back in 2020, when Biden was going up against Trump in the presidential election, which we know was all fake and staged, his campaign slogan was build back better. Ironically enough, Trump supporters are now moving into that build back better mentality where they want Trump, or they believe Trump is going to destroy and rebuild. And so the collapse of the economy, the crash of the markets is a build back better scenario. You see how the New World Order operates? They get you to go against your own interests. This is what they think of you people. So the Trump supporters are now in a place where they either have to admit that they've been lied to and Trump is a fraud and he's working with the elites, or they have to try to twist what is happening and say, well, he's doing this so he can bring about a better America. He's collapsing the economy to create a new economy, a better economy. They don't know what they want. They just know that if Trump said it, it has to be good for them. This is why you should not follow a multitude for wickedness, to do wickedness. This is why you need to be strengthened in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, and just deal with the simplicity of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. The scriptures are real. The word of the Lord does not go out void, and just leave it there. Because these people have no idea what's going on and what's about to happen to them. I'm going to get Obadiah 1 and 3. It says, the pride of thine heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? And that's what they're doing right now. Everything's falling apart amongst Edom, these Edomites. Everything from their women wanting to be with black men now, to them having to scale back their way of life, their way of living, them losing possibly their 401k, their retirement plans, because it's not just hitting Jake anymore, it's hitting Esau too in their pockets. That's why they're pissed off. Right? But the pride of thine heart have deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Well, the Lord is going to bring you down. It says, though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. Okay? So I just wanted to get that right fast to show you, keep a update on Esau Edom of what's going on, because I know a lot of you are, you might be too busy doing other things. You're not able to keep up. And I'm busy as shit too. But you probably aren't keeping up. You don't search Edomite social media the way I do. Oh, I stay on Edomite. I watch every little thing. Fuck what Jake is talking about. Jake is retarded. I'm watching Esau. Okay? Because I know it's going to be the Edomites that are going to stir this shit up. They're the ones, they're in the know. They know what's going on. Okay? Matter of fact, since I brought that out, let me do this. Since I touched on that, Stu Peters, a well-known, and you may not know him, but Stu Peters is well-known on alternative media. I would say like Rumble, BitChute. He used to be on the Alex Jones show. Alex Jones used to have him on as a guest. I think he was featured on InfoWars. And I'm going to show you just how divided Esau is right now. Stu Peters on Twitter, on X, he wrote this: my ancestors didn't die so that I would have to submit to a bunch of J-ish people. And you know what J-ish mean, the small hats. The Jews people. Right? But they're not the real. Right? They're the Israelis. Right? So you have these Edomites that are just completely pissed off with the Jews because they realize that, wait a minute, man, everything has to go through you people. Even Trump. And Trump is supposed to be the great white American hero. And they're pissed off because Trump is submitting himself to these people, these small hatters. They're angry as hell. And it may just seem like I keep bringing it up. I'm trying to tell you, this is really going to turn into something. This shit is about to hit the fan. There's a rumbling going on beneath the surface. Okay? There's a lot going on that you may not be catching. And that's what happens when you're not upon your watch. Lord said, watch as well as pray. You got to pay attention to what's going on so you can measure the times diligently and see and be convinced that this is the time. Otherwise, what you'll do is you'll just get to a place where you just say, "Oh shit, things are always happening." No, things aren't always happening like this. Anyway, I kind of got off track, but the point is that they're running and I'm not going to get into this military shit, but they're running a military psyop. I'll say that. Um, it's a psyop ran by the military industrial complex. And what they do is they run these psyops on the people. And the idea is to destroy and excuse me, not destroy and rebuild, but to Salakia is to divide and conquer. The same strategies that they used on the Native Americans when they came here, they would divide the tribes up, or the tribes, or the you had the different factions of Native Americans, and they would divide them up, and that's how they conquered them. They would get one chief to go against another chief, that type of stuff. So they're doing the same thing to the American people, right? They're doing the same thing. The left and the right. It's nothing but a divide and conquer. A kingdom divided amongst itself or against itself cannot stand. And so this is a beautiful thing to see. I know I'm kind of ranting, but it's a beautiful thing to see when you understand and recognize what's happening and how this is fulfilling prophecy. One half of this country believes that what Trump is doing is going to tank the economy and everyone's going to lose all of their rights, all of their benefits. Again, their 401ks, their retirement plan, and they're in panic mode. And they feel like they got to fight against Trump and the Republican Party. And the other half of the country thinks this is a good thing and that the Fed needs to be destroyed. There's too much government. Okay, Trump is downsizing the government, which is needed, which they believe is needed, and these tariffs will help the middle class. So there's a divide there. And you don't think we're going to see civil war? You don't think there's going to be an uprising of the people? Trump has not been in office. I was at work, and this guy that does deliveries at my job was telling me, and then he's a white guy. I believe he may be from Pennsylvania. Anyway, he was telling me straight up and down, this dude hates Trump. And he literally told me, he kept alluding to it, and I kind of, you know me, I kind of got it out of him. He was basically saying somebody needs to off that nigga. Somebody needs to get rid of Trump. You know what I mean? I mean, pew, pew. At first, he started off kind of like, just telling me like, hey, they need to vote him out. They need to get rid of him. They need to impeach him. But then by the time, I kept talking to him, and I played, I'm a Jake. I had to supplant, right? I just kept talking to him. I said, yeah, Trump is fucking up everything. I played along with it. And Trump is fucking up everything, man. Damn, man, this guy Trump, he just coming in and destroying everything. And he finally got to a point where he just flat out told me he hopes somebody pew pew Trump. Get him the hell up out of here. I was like, damn. Okay. I see how you feel. So you got a lot of these Americans that have been working 20, 30 years of their life, some 40 years, and they coming up on retirement. I've heard other people at work saying they don't know how they're going to retire because of Trump. There's a lot of anger that's very quiet, and a lot of that quiet anger, that silence, you know, that a lot of you are not paying attention to. You think shit's sweet. Oh, it's just going to continue. No, it's not. No, it's not. And you got to remember, this generation of people are very fickle. They're not as strong as the generations of past. This ain't the 1920s. These people can't go through a Great Depression. They're not built like that. The men are soft. We talk about the women, you know, the women being crazy and out of order, but the men are soft as hell, and a lot of them are going to lose their goddamn mind. They're bugging out, man. You see all these homos running around here, and then you got these DL, down low niggas running around here. They not built like that. They can't handle this shit. In the men of the Lord, we're being tested. On our way to that final test, which is the mark of the beast, the microchip. Got to throw that out there, right? These people gonna lose their shit. Don't be like sitting there wondering, like, why is everybody going crazy? Remember the pandemic, how there were people, I know you've seen people around you losing their goddamn mind during the pandemic. Now, that's going to be 3 times worse, at least, by the time Trump's ass is finished doing what he's doing. Okay? And you see a lot of these niggas, this was another thought that I had. A lot of these niggas is running around talking about they living their best life. You're going to see a lot of this shit. This is going to be very short-lived, by the way. So don't get disenchanted. Don't be dismayed. They're going to be flexing and pretending. There's a lot of faking going on. People aren't living as good as you think they are. Remember, folly is set in great dignity. Right? A lot of these people are faking it, man. Pretending like they're better off than what they really are. Amongst Jake and amongst these Edomites. Okay? A lot of these niggas got that I made it in America spirit. I believe it was Jay-Z and not Jay-Z and Kanye. Back in the day, they had I Made It in America. There was a song on the album Watch the Throne called I Made It in America. Bullshit. How did you make it in America when you got to bend over Esau's desk and get rear-ended? And you know what I mean by rear-ended. Okay? You got to bend over his desk and get, for lack of a better term, you got to get buck broken. You know what I mean? Right? You got to bend over the desk and drop your pants for Esau. That's what all these niggas from the Will Smiths to the goddamn Martin Lawrences, and I hate to say that because Martin Lawrence is funny nigga, but Truth is truth. I don't give a damn who you are. The Jay-Z's and the Kanye West, I believe that's why Kanye has lost his damn mind. Because in his, matter of fact, since I spoke on that, this guy, Terrence Howard, what was he on? Oh, he was on the oh my goodness. I know brothers is yelling at me right now because they know what show he was on. The podcast. Um Patrick, was it Patrick Bet David? Patrick Bet David podcast. What's it called? I can't remember. Anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about if you follow it. This guy Terrence Howard, um, he was speaking on he was talking about how if you if you lost your manhood, something like that. I didn't watch it. I watched a little bit of it. Little clips here and there on TikTok. But he was kind of like saying, you only got one time to lose your manhood or something like that. And which is true. And he was basically speaking about how all these guys, they sell out and they bend over the table, they lose their manhood. All for a paycheck. Now you can't look yourself in the mirror. Now you got these guys on drugs and spaced out of their damn mind. This is why Kanye West has lost his damn mind. Because he know he did some crazy shit. So no, you didn't make it in America. Making it in America means you lost your manhood. Because they worship the Queen of Heaven. Isis and Ishtar and all that bullshit. You can't be a man in that. And you got this guy, Rick Ross, the rapper, not the real Rick Ross. I'm talking about Ricky Rose, the rapper. He calls himself the biggest boss, but yet he's building underground bunkers. And I brought this out about 2 years ago. Maybe 3 years ago now. I believe it was 2 years ago. Rick Ross building underground bunkers, talking about he competing with Elon Musk as far as the underground bunkers is concerned. Why are you building an underground bunker if you're the biggest boss? The biggest boss doesn't need an underground bunker. They're trying to avoid disaster, thinking they're going to avoid the destruction that's soon to come. This is how effed up our people are. And now you got Judge Joe Brown. Oh, this seems like this is going to be a rant off. This is going to be a rant episode. Judge Joe Brown talking about the only reason why y'all calling yourself Israelite because y'all ashamed of who y'all really are, a black man. Man, we're not going back to being no goddamn black for you fucking piece of shit. Fuck Joe Brown, man. Again, that made it in America spirit. And before him, Anton Daniels was talking shit. And you can look for this to become like, well, I can't even say it's new because, lately they've been doing a lot of this. You had Anton Daniels, Judge Joe Brown. What's this guy? Shit. Ringo TV. Is that Ringo TV? I believe it's Ringo TV. He's no longer an Israelite. You got this guy, New Breed. I think he's still claiming to be an Israelite, but he be on some bullshit. I don't know what he calling on. I don't think he calling on Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. But it's like this thing where now all of a sudden you have these major podcasters. It used to just be inner fighting amongst certain Israelite groups. They didn't believe in the same thing. Like you got Nate calling on Jesus Christ. His dumbass went to Kenya like an idiot. And I don't know what the fuck he was doing, but he was talking about the real Jesus Christ is black. First of all, the name of the Lord, the Most High is Yahweh, and His only begotten Son is Yahweh Shai. He over there talking about some goddamn Jesus Christ, so they fucked him up, fucked him and his crew up, or fucked his crew up. I don't think he was out there. If I'm not mistaken, I don't believe he was out there. They had no business being out there in the first place. But anyway, this is like becoming a thing. Like I noticed like on TikTok, like they got this thing where they, this is how the Israelites be. You know how they do those, this is how the YNs, the young niggas, this is how the YNs be. They be having these like TikTok challenges, or they be making fun of how certain people be. Or this is how black people be at their jobs. Those kind of posts. If you be on TikTok, you know what I'm talking about. What has become like a new trend is, this is how the Israelites be. This is how these black Hebrew Israelites be. And I'm sitting there going, oh shit. Oh, Esau is really ramping this up. And it made it all the way up to Judge Joe Brown. Ain't that a bitch? The accuser of thy brethren. You know what he about to do. Oh, they about to ramp this up. You about to see some major celebrities come out and denounce what they call the black Hebrew Israelites, because that's what they always love to call us. This is going to get ramped up to the umpteenth degree. Let me get Isaiah, because I've been running my mouth. Let me get Isaiah 1:3. It says, the ox knoweth his owner, and the ass his master's crib. But Israel doeth not know, my people doeth not consider. And this is what they're banking on. Because the elites have gotten desperate. Their time is short. I bring it out every week. Revelation, the 12th chapter, they know that they got but a short time. The devil's coming down with great wrath, know that he's got but a short time. And this is what they're doing. They're trying to use these social media influencers and certain celebrities to try to stop what, is seen as the Israelite movement. But it's really the elect. The Lord is sealing his elect. So yeah, you got a bunch of niggas to denounce the Israelites, but nigga, that ain't stopping the elect. Let me bring out let me get Acts. Get Acts 5:38. It says, and now I say unto you, refrain from these men and let them alone, for if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. And that's what it's gonna come to. These are just men bucking up against the word of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. That's all it is. That's all it is. Oh, so what? They're famous. Next, you're going to see Denzel Washington, who's become, I guess he's a pastor, or he's in the ministry. He's in the Christian church ministry now. I guess he got baptized and whatever. He's an ordained minister, I believe, now in the Christian church, right? You're going to see this ramped up. Slander against the men that are sighing and crying and trying to teach the true word of Yahweh B'Hashem Yahweh Shai, the true word of the Lord. All types of slander. And never mind the fact you got Nate and IUIC running around here doing some bullshit, going to Kenya and fucking with people over there for no damn reason. They did the dumb shit with the Kyrie Irving thing, marching around the Barclays Center. When Kyrie Irving was standing up against, I believe he was, what was he talking about, that book, Babylon and Timbuktu? If I'm not mistaken, Salakia, if I'm wrong, y'all can correct me. And, the small hats came against them. He was, he just tweeted something out. And they went and marched around the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. And their dumbasses IUIC went and marched for Kyrie Irving. And Kyrie Irving was like, who the hell are these people? I don't know them. Setting up Esau coming down with great wrath against the men of the Lord. Setting up, this is the accuser of thy brethren. This is the setup that these men have been paid off to do. Niggas like Nate and I believe General Yohana of the ISUBK. I honestly believe that in my heart of hearts. And I believe when that microchip is announced, those men, this is my belief, they could do something different. But I believe they're going to tell the congregation, take the chip. I honestly believe that. Again, it says, refrain from these men and let them alone, for if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, ye cannot overthrow it, lest haply ye be found even to fight against Yahweh. All right, and you cannot fight against Yahweh. And you can't fight against his heavenly, only begotten son, Yahushua.